All right, we were having some issues about coloring our Bibles with different colors and sharing that color with some of the Bibles, but having some of the Bibles uniquely colored. For whatever purposes you may do that, there is a way to do it. For instance, I like to combine all of my Bibles with the same colors typically, okay? So if I color anything in this Bible, I can share it with all the other Bibles. For instance, how this is done right here. Let's see. I first colored it right here in this book, and it is sharing. Okay, this one is not sharing, but I'll show you what happens. When the other ones are sharing, when these are collected, turned on, you're going to pick up colors from other Bibles. No matter what Bible you color in, if it's got the same passage, it's going to highlight it if it has this option, notes and highlights corresponding. Your notes will come through, your highlights will come through, everything will come through. Now, I don't want it to come to this Bible. So whatever I do in these other Bibles, for instance, this right here, if I color this over here, I don't want that to go into this book. I don't mind if it's in these other ones, as you can see, because they're all turned on to corresponding notes and highlights. I like this particular book for certain reasons, for study, for clarity, for simplicity, for videos that I make, and I don't need it cluttered with a lot of coloring, or notes even, for that matter. So I do the coloring in here for specific reasons. Now, whatever I do in this book, though, because the other ones have that option turned on, whatever I do in this unique book that's separate from the others, even though it's turned off, notes and highlights corresponding is turned off, whatever I do in this book will come over here, as you can see, hear my prayer, O Lord, hear my prayer, O Lord. It'll come into these books. Why? Why will it come into these books? Because they have it turned on. So I can literally color in any one of these books. If they're all turned on, I can color them all different colors. I can color them with different things. I can use a variety of things. Blue, red, yellow, green. And it's going to continue to color in the other books. As you can see, it's popping up here. If I color in this book, it'll show up in these. If I color in this one, it'll show up in these. The only one it's not going to show up on is the one that's turned off. But, like I said, whatever I do over here is going to show up in the other ones, even though the other ones don't show up in this one. Why is that? Because these are all sharing corresponding notebooks. Now, the way to stop that is to basically create color palettes, different color palettes, and you can turn off those color palettes so that they don't come through. In other words, let me just erase everything and show you what I mean. I'll take it all off real quick, and then I'm going to color from only a certain color palette that I've created uniquely and separately from all the others, and we can turn it off so that it doesn't show up in the other books, even though the other books have that turned on. Okay, all the highlights are turned off. Now these three Bibles over here are sharing the same thing over here. This one over here in the top right is not. Okay, so let's say I color something over here with this one, and I'm going to color it. It's going to show up in the other Bibles. But I don't want it to show up in the other Bibles. So if I want this book to be uniquely colored and I don't want those colors to come through, I can turn off corresponding colors and notebooks, but I don't want to turn off corresponding notes and highlights because I want these all to share. I want these three books to share. So to get rid of the color coming from this book, I've created a color palette that I'm going to use just for that Bible. So in other words, everything in this color palette over here, let's look at it. Levi Colors 3, everything in these colors right here is used specifically for this particular book. Now, if I go into these books up here and I go to my corresponding notes, I can slide down to that particular color group and I can turn it off. Colors from Levi. Now look, as soon as I turn it off, it's not going to pick up the color. See how it just disappeared? Now, all the colors from that color book are going to be gone. Now, you have to do it for all the Bibles because they're all turned on the same way. So that's how you have to keep your color separate. I can create a color palette with specific colors and use for specific books only, but I do have to turn off the one for the others. If you're sharing corresponding notes and colors, you'll have to turn it off. And that may be a problem, may be a pain in the butt, but in the end, it's worth keeping your color separate if that's something you're into doing. All right, God bless you. Take care. Peace.